Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
5-year-old. Hi, everyone. I'm talking to YouTube now. Hi, YouTube. How are you doing today? And welcome, welcome, welcome. We are still reading the book, The Alchemist. I don't know why I'm saying it that way, by Paul Coelho, Coelho. And we are reading this book because if you want to grow your spirituality, you must read. You don't know enough, you will never know enough. There's always somebody that has an expertise in a particular area that could further your spirituality. This isn't about education, not at all. This is about development, metaphysical development, growing your chakras, particularly your heart chakra. Metaphysical people, you will find, are the kindest people ever. That's what you will find. Very mistaken people, though, right? You know, metaphysical people get taken advantage of for their kindness, but that's neither here nor there because you can learn not to be taken advantage of. Hi, Buddha Lion. Hi, Musings. How are you feeling, sweetie? Good health. Now, see, that's why I say to everyone, good health. Good health. Not good morning. Good health, because good health is something we need all day, every day. Grand Rising and good health, Jikanda. How are you? Aw. So I was just telling everyone, one of your biggest jobs you're going to be doing as you grow into your metaphysical essence is to read and read a lot. I promise you, reading, research. You know, YouTube can be your best friend, by the way, or it could be your worst enemy because a lot of videos out there are kind of weird. Okay, so like last night, let me see if Melissa's here yet. Not yet. Okay, so last night, I've been researching body fluids, right? So that I could get it right for all of you. Oh my God. Some of the videos out there on body fluids and magic, I was mortified. I was mortified and I was ashamed of some people that took the body fluid concept and made it into catching a man. That's crazy to me. And it's unacceptable. It is, but they did teach me something, right? They taught me what not to say. That's what they taught me. So I'm of gratitude that I could access somebody else's information and know that is not something that God would want me to use my channel for. And one woman, oh my God, I'll share it with the group if anybody wants it. Her boyfriend was in the room as she's telling his video, right? And she's talking about the different ways to catch a man. And he was mortified. And I was like, that girl can't be with her man after this. Like, what are you sharing with him? Like, oh my God. I was it made me sick to listen to her. And I think it made him sick too, because she was laughing and she was like, oh, my babe is with his jaw to the floor, whatever. And she was giggling. And I'm like, you're sick. You're a sick young lady. That is something that you think you can share with your man. And for him not to think that you didn't do that to him. Ooh, child. I was like, thank you. I thanked her in spirit. And I said, I will never, never teach what some of these women taught. And she wasn't the only one. Like, I do my research 100%. And, oh, child, these people, some people on YouTube, you just got to listen to it with a grain of salt. Don't be so quick to be like, well, this person said on YouTube, and that's golden. Nope. So I hope you all had the opportunity to listen to the body fluid magic video. It's on YouTube, also on Blog Talk Radio. How's the elephant in that room? What is that? What does that mean, Red Roses? Give me a little bit more. I'm dense, sweetie. I'll be the first one to admit I'm very dense. But how's everyone else doing that's in the feed right now? I don't know, guys. I feel very subdued, right? That's my feeling for today. Very subdued. And I don't mind it. I don't mind the way I'm feeling. Good health, Miss Net Net. Good health, Pink Lily Phil. Grand Rising, Tracy. And great health to everyone. And I hope that everyone is well. Calm and spacey. Oh, that's hilarious. I never mind spacey. Enjoy that feeling. I'm telling her magic with her man. And everyone, oh, yeah, don't do that. Oh my God. You know, I didn't see when this video was taken, but I can promise you they are not together. I can promise you. The tension it creates, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no way that man stayed with her. Like, but how stupid can you be? Like, what was the purpose? Like, you were doing a video, but you were doing it to him, not for us, meaning the viewers. There wasn't enough videos on body fluids, by the way. There's not enough magical people that know the difference or know that they can use body parts and body fluid. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was very, very responsible to you. All right. So Buddha says, I'm well, thank you. And I thought I saw something else here. Gikanda said calm and spacey. I like the calm and spacey. So enjoy the calm and spacey. I've had a quiet week all week. I don't think I have too much to talk about. Sometimes I have these adventures, but even if I have an adventure, I don't even know if there's anything crazy to talk about. But I constantly have adventures. Just trying to think, was anything out there this weekend? I don't think so. I also like the simple reminders. The video's good, Tracy. Thank you. You mean the body fluids video? If that's what you mean, thank you. Try to be responsible to you all. Try to care greatly. so that you all don't fall into any magical pitfalls. Hold on a second, guys. I need to get a nail file. This is killing me. Hey guys, there's a magical planetary alignment in the sky between the dates of June 17th, which was yesterday, and I think it's June 17th through June 24th, but don't hold the dates to me. But it is a crazy, crazy alignment. Do your research and look it up and feel the energy of that alignment. I think the last time this alignment happened, it was in 2004. And the alignment is going to be here every single day until, I believe it's June 27th. On June 24th, the moon will join the alignment. So, for those of you that love to do candle magic, you can do candle magic every single day. This alignment is palpable. You guys don't seem to understand. You respond by way of the alignments in the planets always. I don't think you guys realize that. And if you do, good for you. But we are moved by the planet. Listen, if the moon can move the ocean when it's full, and we are more than 90% water, why aren't we moved? Excuse me, guys. Why some magical people don't do self-love spells. I agree. It seems the spells are always about romantic love. I don't know if it's romantic love, it's about capturing. I think because people are just unhealthy and they're a prisoner in their own devices and they want prisoners with them. You know? You know what I found out though? It never works. It never works. The one thing God has authorized is you cannot interfere with someone's free will. That means if a person wants to walk away from you, open the door. Open the door. Invite the exit. Because your life is going to be measured by trying to keep this person. And that is probably the most strenuous thing you could have. You know, romance is all about competition, right? You don't have a man, so if you don't have a man, that's why you don't have a man, because you ugly, you got problems because you don't have a man. That's like an old time concept that you need a man to complete yourself. A lot of people that do have a man, a lot of people have problems in their relationships. So a lot of people aren't happy, but they got a man. A lot of people will keep that man at all costs to not make them look bad, but they are making you look bad. A lot of relationships cheat constantly. And a lot of times, people go home at the end of the day and they don't even talk to each other, you know? And I think that's the thing that's the most disturbing to me, right? Because at the end of the day, in the dark of night, in the privacy of your home, you want to have someone that is on the same mental page as you. You want someone to talk with you with kind, loving words. I'm not a fan if your partner calls you out your face, and that's for men and women. Like, women, you cannot call your husband mean words. Like, stop it, right? And men, I don't like it when you call your women um, crazy. That's crazy is an abusive word, by the way. And if you didn't know that, and you're being called that, um, you're being abused. It's the beginning stages of abuse. In any case, why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because of sex magic, um, and that's not love. And I pity the person that invests in sex magic. I pity, like, it's just so crazy to me that that is something. Okay, that is something that you have to consider. I want you to be a badass. I want men coming to you because of who you are. I want you to have choices. And you can't do that if you don't power up with self love. Melissa's here. Melissa!
Hey, Dory. Good morning.
Good morning and
Good
good health.
morning. Happy rising. Good health.
Happy rising to you too. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm sluggish this morning, but other than that, I'm fine.
Oh,
I love how the fact that you say that. I hear stuff like that from men. Like friends of mine, when a man would tell them, "Oh, you're just crazy." I never thought of that. It's like they say it to just get out of whatever the situation is.
exactly.
But you are right about being with a man with all force, even if he makes you miserable.
Yep. Don't settle. Don't
Sometimes
settle.
it's a blessing when they leave.
Oh my God! Yes. Yes. Sometimes it's a blessing.
It's a blessing when they walk out the door.
Yep. And if a man,
you're gonna cry.
You're gonna be miserable. Go ahead, Melissa.
You're gonna cry.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're just crying out whatever you don't no longer need anymore.
Preach, sister, preach.
Yeah. And you know what, too? Some people just think because they have years with somebody that they supposed to stay. No. I had 7 years with somebody, and I was just like, oh, my God, this man is so
mean.
This man is so miserable. He doesn't want to work. He complains about labor. He just wants things to come easily to him.
His mama didn't train him well at all.
No, he wanted to go. He went one time to go. One of his friends had their own little grass company or whatever, like the lawn stuff. He did it for one day and was like, I'm never going back because that's a lot of labor. I said, I can't do it. And I was just like, oh my God.
He couldn't work it all, huh?
He couldn't do it. And then when he doesn't have money, he's depressed. Oh my God. And I'm just like, 7 years of this? Get out of here.
Mm, mm,
I know
mm.
some people like to be like, oh, I know that person for years. Yeah. You know what? I like the whole being in a relationship for years thing too. But if I see stuff that is very triggering to me, I know now it's time to go.
Yes, yes, yes. Don't think all your blessing is wrapped up.
Your mental.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, for your
You
mental
gotta
health.
think about your mental.
Yep,
You gotta think about, like, you know, do I want to ingest all this abuse, or am I gonna go and just you know, leave it alone?
yep. So true.
And, you know, just, I know everybody's like, oh, the kid, I need him. You don't need him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he's not good in bed, but you say, I'm going to stay with him anyway.
Oh
No.
my God, yes.
You're not happy.
Yes. Yes.
He's not making you happy.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my
But
God.
that whole, you talking about the whole sex magic thing?
Yeah, yeah.
That's like, goes back to like the Kardashians with that, because,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, they're a good example of why you
see them
shouldn't do
keep a
sex
man?
magic. Huh?
I said they never get to keep a man.
That's a good
If you're doing all
example.
the sex magic, right? Because you're.
Mm-hmm. That's a good example why you shouldn't do
Okay,
sex
what
magic.
you say? I didn't get to hear you.
What you say, Melissa?
No, I said I didn't get to hear you.
I said that's a good example on why you should not do sex magic. The Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't none of them happy. None of them are happy. And you never see them in a happy space with their men. Do you realize that?
No.
You never see them in a happy space
that, like,
with men. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Think about it. There's no pictures of them in a happy space. There are stage pictures with Kylie, but there's no authentic happy pictures. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you could tell because you got to think about it. You willing to. That's like, say, like you want a celebrity, right? Let's use Drake for example. You know, you want to do sex magic to get Drake, and then you realize after you get him, you realize that
He's crazy.
so he has money, but he doesn't make you happy.
Right.
You know?
Right. You do know. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I do know.
And, you know, sometimes you might get one of those spiteful men that will just always be negative.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I do a lot of readings, right, Melissa? And
Right.
I've heard it all, right? And one of my favorite ones was a woman. She was like 67 and screaming into the phone about how horrible this man has been to her since the beginning of the marriage, and somehow wanted me to fix it. And I said, ma'am, this is not fixable unless you understand that you just either live with it because you're now 67. You know what I mean? Like, like you're 67 and you've been putting up with this? Like, this isn't a psychic reading anymore. And she was screaming and crying into the phone. And I was like, ma'am, you have options now. Your children are grown. You could exercise peace and leave him. Like, there's no magic wand to stop him from doing what he's been doing. Like, there's no magic wand at this point. But imagine being
It's
so
just,
miserable for 60-something years. And they met when they were like 18. Like, no. I don't know. It is what it is.
Your kids are grown. I mean, if your kids are grown, then there's no reason for you to stay if you don't want to. You know.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I hope
every kid's gonna have their own life.
Yep.
They ain't worried about who their mama gonna be with or not be with.
Yeah. You know what's interesting though? When you live a life a certain type of way, and you don't know that there's better out there for you or choose better, then the children are raised by what they see as love. So the children find the same type of man or woman in their lives. Same exact energy. And we don't realize what we're doing to our children when we put up with so much. Like, the children see everything. They hear everything. And it's mortifying. I remember when my son was less than 2 and he was learning how to talk. And I'll never forget this. He was learning how to talk. And of course he said dad at first, right? That's normal. Oh, my ex-husband was like, he called me dad at first, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's so cute. You're so lucky, right? But when it got time to call me mommy, my ex-husband used to look at my son, point to me, and say, mommy, pooey, mommy, pooey. Yeah. Mommy, pooey, pooey. And I looked at him and I said, you shouldn't do. And I'm very calm. One thing about me, I'm not going to argue with nobody in my house. And I was like, why are you doing that? And then he was like, I'm not doing anything. You're crazy. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, I'm crazy. And I'm watching you train my son to disrespect me in my face, starting at 2. And then I got called crazy. And I was like, oh, I'm crazy. And I assessed the situation so well, so fast. And I realized that my ex-husband was going to train my son to hate me in my face, in my own house. Because he was starting at 2. By the time that child turned 2.5, I was gone. I was out. Nope, you don't get to do that. Nope. 2.5, I was out. Nope. You don't get to train my son to hate me in my fucking face. And I didn't necessarily have the right support from family, because I would tell my family members, and I'd be like, Chris is doing certain things and it's making me feel uncomfortable. And they were like, oh, Tracey, Chris amazing. You have everything. And I was like, yeah. Like, they couldn't understand the complaint.
Yeah.
Because the complaint.
They're looking at you got everything. You got the man.
I got the man.
You got the baby. It's like
I got the baby.
It's kind of like.
And in their minds, he was a great man because he worked so hard. He's still successful. So in their minds, like, that's all they want. And it's like, no, guys, there's an emotional. And I didn't know it was metaphysical back then. I didn't know how my heart read people. I didn't know my intuition was like getting inside his soul and recognizing this man was deplorable. But I read the energy. Like I tell everyone, read the goddamn room. I read the room. And my house was not a safe place for me. My own home was not a safe place for me.
Wow.
I got out.
You know, sometimes everybody looks, you know what the thing is too?
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes everybody gets the stereotype of watching people like on TV. You know, you got the husband, you got the kids, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got it all.
Yes.
But, you know, words hurt.
Oh my God, words. You don't need a knife. You never need a knife. You use consistent words, you can crumble a soul. You use consistent words, you can give somebody cancer, Melissa. You use consistent words, you can kill someone. And that is no joke.
You know?
And the thing is, Melissa, there was love there. And so when it changed, I had to recognize love doesn't exist anymore.
You know, sometimes it takes people years to recognize love's not there no more.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it does. Yes. Well, I made it out. No regrets. No regrets. I made it out. I made a life for myself. I've been happy ever since. Like, seriously happy. Ever since.
And that's a blessing.
Thank
and
you.
You know what, too? Sometimes some people are afraid. Some women are afraid to say, or men are afraid to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't realize, like, sometimes you leaving, you'll see the bigger picture later of why you wasn't meant to stay.
Yes. Absolutely. You will get the bigger picture. I promise you. And who knows, Melissa, maybe you and I having this conversation today can make people see themselves a little better. You never know. That would be my prayer.
Yeah, you never know. It's probably like, and you know what? It's probably like a message for somebody out there, you know, like, you know, if he's starting to do a little talking like saying they're crazy, or, you know, it's just different signs. Like, I could say, like, there was one relationship I was with that person for almost 3 years. Right?
Yeah.
Same birthday as my sister. And I said, oh, my God, I'm never going to date a man that has the same birthday as anybody in my family ever again.
You said that. You
I'm
told
not
us
doing
that.
it. Not doing it. Yeah, same birthday. And I remember one day my sister called me selfish, right? And then another month later, he called me selfish. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I said, both of these people are calling me selfish. And I was just like, the energy, I said, I would say all the time, oh my God, why am I with this man? Oh my God, the way he whines. Oh my gosh, his mom, she comes stay with him. So, like, he has a small place, right? You know, like a room or whatever. So, his mom comes up here. Mom comes up here to New York, and she comes, and I'm thinking his mom going to stay at a hotel or a family friend house.
Yeah.
His mama got to stay in his bed at his place. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I said, wait a minute. I said, oh, wow. Like, you know, well, you know, to me, at the time, it was like, oh, my God. So, his mom stayed there with him, and I'm just like, wow. So, and when his mom left to go back to wherever she lived.
Good morning, Mr. Judge.
Came out and left New York. He was crying, saying, "Oh my God, I miss my mother," and I was just like, "Oh my God, why am I dealing with a man like that?" Yeah, I know people would be shocked, be like, "What?" Yeah. So, I would whine all the time, right? Next thing I know, one day he decides to break up with me because he doesn't like the fact that he doesn't like the way that my mom talks about him.
Wait, say that again. He broke up with you because why?
He broke up with me because he didn't like the way that my mom talked about him. Because
your mom.
I don't know, maybe I had him. Yeah, because my mom told me, like, he wanted me to go with him to go get a phone or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to get a new phone. And my mom was like, can't he just do it by himself? Why does he always need to go with him for everything? Ooh. And he just got upset over that.
Ooh, mama don't play.
Yeah. I was like, what? So he broke up with me over that because he said, "Oh, I don't like the way your mom talks about me." But to me, afterwards, I used to always whine and say, "Oh my God, why am I still with him?" Sometimes, your spiritual team, they keep hearing you say, "Oh my God, why am I with this person?"
Yeah.
And then
they'll break you all up. Yep.
You're chain and balls, you got free.
Yep.
And they're like, I was just like, oh my God. So, if a guy gets upset about someone's mother, then I don't think I should be with that person.
Yeah.
All because she just felt like he was just too clingy. And she don't understand why he couldn't do anything without me.
Got it.
So,
got it.
Yeah.
Well, moms see things differently, by the way, Melissa. Moms see a whole nother perspective on everything. And I'm pretty sure she was just trying to alert you before it got out of hand.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And listen, I appreciate it. Because I was like, I was just like, you don't realize that when you leave that type of energy that you've been with for maybe I was there for like 2.5 years, you start to feel, you start to feel some release of not being with that person. And also, his mom kind of warned me a little bit. His mother told me, she said, wow, this has been his mom's relationship. She said he never laughed. He never really lasted a year with nobody.
Oh, Melissa. She was definitely trying to warn you. She was trying to warn you big time, girl.
She was trying to warn me, right? But in a nice kind of way.
I got you. I said, I got you. She was trying to do it in a nice way. Get out.
Like, you're a good girl, but, he don't last no. I was like, wow. She said, this is the longest relationship he ever had. I was just like,
Yeah, you got to listen. You got to listen. Sometimes you got to read between the lines.
Wow.
Yep.
And so I'll never forget that. But, we don't have that energy on you no more. You feel relieved. It takes time. Believe me, heartbreak makes everybody want to eat cookies, ice cream, whatever you want.
Oh, I love that.
And that's fine.
I love heartbreak and cookies and ice cream. I'm down. When I'm depressed, I go. When I'm depressed, I go to bread.
Bread's good.
I know. I love bread. When I'm depressed, when I'm healthy, I can't eat bread. My body's allergic to bread. But when I'm depressed, give me some bread. Lots of it. Oh, gee, Red Roses said something really good, and you're right, Red Roses, right? Red Roses says some people don't believe that they have the strength to be on their own, and you are absolutely right.
That that's true.
It takes a lot to understand you'll be okay. It takes a lot. But you know what? I just want to add to that, Red Roses. Do you realize that when you're in a bad relationship, they will tell you things like, "Ain't nobody ever gonna want you. Ain't nobody gonna love you like I loved you." Um, you know what I mean? Like they actually set the stage for you to hibernate when they're gone, and the first thing they do is go out and find another person. Men do that mostly. No, actually, no. Narcissist women do that too.
So bad, so bad.
But I'm not.
You know what, Tracy?
Mm-hmm.
You listen. You just saying that. How? That is so true.
But
Because
Melissa,
after the guy broke up with me,
but Melissa, the men have it right. The trick to getting over a relationship is to get back out there. You know what most women do? Most women luxuriate in the former abusive relationship, and it's all they talk about because they're still in love with the former abusive relationship.
mm,
And they talk about their experiences because it reminds them and reminds others that someone loved me enough, that I'm not undervalued, that I did have a love, and he was abusive. So they tell the story as a badge of honor.
mm. You know what? That's true. You know what, too? Men do that. They
Mm-hmm.
go back out and they go out and they start thinking. It's kind of like almost trying to get a, trying to, trying to, trying to have somebody even after they break up. They
But
go on to the next person very quickly.
but good for them.
There's like no space.
Good for them. Like we got it wrong. I mean, again, I do a lot of readings, Melissa, and all I ever get is there's a new guy in my life, but you know, Tracy, I've had such a bad experience in the past. I'm like, girl, you've had bad experiences because you made bad choices. That has nothing to do with the new guy coming along. You're afraid you're going to make the same bad choices, but you can't see that. So stop luxuriating in the poor relationships that you took on and that you stayed with. No, no, it's ownership. Like, I'd love to have a pity party with women, but no, it's ownership. You know something is not right. You stayed in it knowing something's not right. Or sometimes I talk to a lot of women, guys. So I apologize if there's any men listening. I can only speak by the category of that I get. Sometimes I get women that are like, I need to know if he's cheating, but you're calling me to see if he's cheating. And then when I tell you, yeah, there's a major problem going on here, they need proof. They're like, I knew it. I knew it. How do I catch him, Tracy? You're not going to catch him. Like, the cards are telling me that he is not being faithful to you. Why do you need to catch him? Do you know what I mean? Why do you need to catch him? Catching him could take years depending upon how good he is. Huh?
But is it worth it? But is it worth it catching?
Oh my God. Musings has got me cracking up. But when they treat the new person better, that makes me angry. Musings. Musings, they do that on purpose. They treat the new person better on purpose. They want to shove it in your face. Let me tell you something. My ex-husband um, had a baby by the woman that he wound up marrying, right? And we hadn't gotten divorced yet, so the baby was born and living, walking around. He and I are still legally married, right? So we all lived in the same town, and one day I ran into her. So I never ran into her. One day I ran into her at Pathmark, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Don't you want to be married?" Like, I couldn't understand why she was accepting the lifestyle that he was giving her, because I sure as fuck didn't. And so I was like, "Don't you want to be married?" And she looked at me and she was like, "Well, we would be married if you weren't stopping the divorce." And I was like, "Oh, is that what he's telling you?" And I said to her, "Tell him to show you the paperwork." Meaning, we had never filed for a divorce. He never did. I never did. But he was telling her that he can't marry her because I was stopping it.
Wow.
All the while, she was being this amazing woman, right? My son would come home with some amazing stories, right? Oh, we do this, and dad did this for her, and da da da. But my ex-husband, who's a calculating little bastard, right, would do things so that my son would see it, so that he would take it back home to me. Mm-hmm. And then
he wanted to make you jealous.
He wanted to show me that he was treating her better than me. Like, look what you're missing out on. You could have had all of this, right? And so,
right,
when in actuality, he didn't want to marry her. In actuality, he wanted to stay married to me. So, I looked at her and I was like, tell him to show you the paperwork. Because there was none, right? And I got home, and at the time, I didn't know I had conversations with God. I got home, and I tried to assess the situation because I had to ask myself, why was I holding on to him? And I had to figure out that I was living a lifestyle because I wanted to be married, and I wanted to stay married, and I liked being Mrs. Hearn. And all of my paperwork said Hearn, Tracey Hearn. And I loved that part of life. I loved being married. And I had to figure out this man was taking advantage of my love that was there for him and my love to be married. So I had to figure out I no longer loved him. I loved being married. And God had to be like, but you got what you wanted. And I was like, yeah. And God is like, it is done. And I was like, oh, you're right. I wanted to be married. I got married. He's a piece of shit. And it's done. And do you know, until my son was 16, so back in the day, it was a little different, guys. So until my son was 16, I carried my ex-husband's name. But I did it because back in the day, when the parent had a different name from the child, then they would look at you as some hood rat type of parent, right? And I wanted to let these teachers know, which were mostly white, that my son and I have the same name through marriage. This is what I was trying to do, right? Stupid me, right? And so my son was 16 years old when we moved back to California, and I said to him, I don't want to be a Hearn anymore. I'm going to take back my maiden name. And my son looked at me like, just do what you want. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay. And that's how I became Tracey Brown. And then look what happened, Melissa. I wound up being a public figure. My ex-husband would have, yep. My ex-husband would have loved it if I became a public figure with his last name. Fuck you. Fuck out of here. I took back my maiden name, and it became a thing for me. It became a thing. Yeah. Asswipe. Oh, and then throughout the years, you know, as your child gets older, and he could tell the difference in two households, right? And throughout the years, my son has let me know that his wife is miserable. And I used to say to my son, that would have been me. That's why I left your dad. That would have been me. And then it came to a point where I was like, hey, stop telling me what's going on in that household over there. Like, I don't want to know. Like, it doesn't make me happy. So he might have been like 10 when I told him this. So there's forget memory. Years later, my son has his daughter, and he regurgitates his childhood with his father, right? And then I used to say to him, this was just a few years ago, I used to say, yep, that's why I left your dad. Yep, that doesn't surprise me. And he would tell me how abused, emotionally abused this woman was. Emotionally, not physically, emotionally. And how sad she was all the time, right? And so I used to say, yep, that would have been me. And then him and his father began to have problems a couple of years ago. And then he said to me, as he was talking, I was like, well, that is who your father is. I've never known him to not be any different, so it doesn't surprise me that you guys are beginning to have problems. And then one day he said to me,
right,
why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me about my dad? And I was like, boy, back up. That is not my job to get you to hate your dad based upon my feelings. My job was to send you over to your dad. My job was to make sure you had a relationship with your dad. I did that. Whatever you're discovering now, you're discovering as an adult. Deal with that. But don't you dare come back and act like I was supposed to warn you about how bad your dad was. Fuck out of here. Grown-ass man. Deal with your dad. Who was a trickster.
Right. So he got to recognize his father's energy.
Yes.
It took time.
It took time. Yes. And there was some weird comparison between the siblings. And I saw all of this. I was like, this is a problem. All of this is a problem. But I'm not saying nothing. It's not my household. I'm not getting in the middle of nothing. If my son comes back intact and I can reprogram him emotionally, nope, not touching anything. I'm not trying to control my ex-husband's house because my son's over there. If my son wants to go, he goes. And at some point, he went over there every weekend because I really did not give a shit. And there were 2 other kids over there. So, but as, you know, once he got to be an adult, there was some weird problem that was happening after the birth of my son's daughter. Some weird shit with all the family members. And every time he told me something, I was like, oh yeah, I understand. That's who your dad is. And I kept saying it to the point he was like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, boy, back the fuck up. As a parent, I'm not supposed to have you check your dad's personality. No. Back up.
Yeah.
Deal with your dad as an adult.
It's like bad mouthing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some people think it's bad mouth too early.
And
then the child's like, well, you know what? I just don't have respect for them.
Yeah. And besides that, there was no way I was going to badmouth his dad. My best time was my weekends. You think I'm going to badmouth his dad so my son would say, I don't want to go to my dad's house. No. No. Pack your bags. Get out. Friday, 6 o'clock. Dad's coming. Get your bag. Get your bag. Get the fuck out. Out. Everybody go. Go. No, I wasn't about to badmouth this dad so I wouldn't have a peace of mind. Do I look crazy? I know other parents do that. They're like, Tracy, I don't want him to see him. Why? Because I don't like the girl he's with. Get the fuck out of here. Go to court, give that man visitation, and enjoy the days that you don't have your child. It's the best babysitter. And at some point, every weekend, that my ex-husband didn't even know I tricked him. He didn't even know. The dummy picked up my son every single weekend. I had years of peace. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Melissa. Let's get to the book.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Thank you, everyone, for letting us talk about relationships. We need to talk about that sometimes. So, do you remember where we left off? I do, but I'm also not too sure.
Quick check. Oh,
Okay.
You know what? I put a star next to it.
Okay, where are we? What page?
We're on page 22.
Yes.
At mine.
Yes, that's where I marked off too. So let's just recap this. The boy, who I don't even know what the boy's name is, so we're not going to work.
To the top.
Hold on, Melissa. The boy, no, don't go back to the top. The boy met a man that calls himself the King of Salem. That's where we're at, and he's about to introduce his name. Go, Melissa.
Where's that at? Oh, where it says my name?
Yes.
I don't know how to say this name.
Mm.
My name is Mel Sajid.
Let's make it up. Melchizedek. Melchizedek. I don't know either.
Said the old man, how many sheep do you have? Enough, said the boy. He could see that the old man wanted to know more about his life. Well, then we got a problem. I can't help you if you feel you've got enough sheep. The boy was getting irritated. He wasn't asking for help. It was the old man who asked for a drink of his wine and had started the conversation. Give me my book, the boy said. I have to go and gather my sheep and get going. Give me 1/10 of your sheep, said the old man, and I'll tell you how to find the hidden treasure. The boy remembered his dream, and suddenly everything was clear to him. The old woman had not charged him anything, but the old man, maybe. He was her husband, was going to find a way to get much more money in exchange for information about something that didn't even exist. The old man was probably a gypsy too.
Mm-hmm.
But before the boy could say anything, the old man leaned over, picked up a stick, and began to write in the sand of the plaza. Something bright reflected from his chest with such intensity that the boy was
momentarily
momentarily blinded with a movement that was too quick for someone his age. The man covered whatever it was with his cap.
cape.
When his vision returned to normal, the boy was able to read what the old man had written in the sand. There in the sand of the plaza of that small city, the boy read the name of his father and his mother and the name of the seminary he had attended. He read the name of the merchant's daughter, which he hadn't even known, and he read things he had never told anyone.
Okay, let's stop there for a minute. What do you think is happening there, Melissa? He meets this strange man, right? And his first experience with a metaphysical person was with a gypsy, but gypsies have bad reputations. Ironically, the gypsy doesn't charge him when gypsies like money. So there's some irony in that. But because she could see something, because was it you when musings that realized that gypsies are gifted? They just manipulate their gift. They're totally gifted, totally psychics, totally, and it's inherited, like it's in their blood, gypsies, right? But because money is so important, they take advantage with their own gift against the population at large. So I think it's kind of weird, and I always thought it was kind of weird that the gypsy didn't charge him. But she does see what he's about to get into. She sees his potential wealth. And so she says, she says, I'm not going to charge you, sweetie. But when you find the treasure, you must give me 1/10. Like what? You didn't even tell me where to find it. But when I find it on my own, that's when the gypsy came back again. So he does realize the gypsy is a little suspect. But then he meets this man. And the man says,
because he...
Go ahead, Melissa.
No, because it's like the boy just thinking he's going to get scammed again.
Yes. And the guy tells him, I'm a king. I'm a king of Salem. And what the boy doesn't realize, and guys, let me know if I'm wrong or not, is that the man is reading him from jump. Do you understand? That's the impression that I got. That, you know, like I always say to everyone, read the room. Read the goddamn room. Like you're metaphysical people. Stop acting like you're normal. You're not normal anymore. Learn to read the room. Right? So the guy is already reading him. He sat there long enough to pull his mother's name out, pull his father's name out, pull the merchant's daughter's name out, and, like he says, and other things he never told anyone. Who's the real psychic now?
It's almost like the guy's telling his future, but just like in riddle, right?
Well, actually, he's literally reading his energy. He hasn't told him his future yet. He's telling him, I know you. I know you because I read everything inside your soul. So I know your mother's name. I know your father's name. Yeah. And so he proves it to him. The thing that I found interesting, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Melchizedek. Oh, Pink Lily Phil, that doesn't help me. Melchizedek. That does. Okay, let me try one more time. Melchizedek. Melchizedek. Okay, it's not helping me, Pink Lily Phil. Too ignorant. Sorry, I'm too ignorant. What's interesting was that little thing, which might have been a trick. Let me see if I can go back. The old woman's in charge of many, but the old man, maybe he was her husband. He's now thinking he's just running into a whole bunch of gypsies, right? He was going to find a way to get much more money.
Just like everybody.
Yes. He's like, oh, this man's going to find a way to get much more money in exchange for information. This guy is a little egotistical, by the way. Like, you're a shepherd. Why do you think everybody you meet up with wants something from you? Like, you're a kid. You're a shepherd. You got valuables that you think people want from you so badly? No, sir. You had a dream. That's it. Like, don't get... But he's kind of egotistical. Oh, wait. What?
Mm-hmm.
What? New things? Yes, people, I think he's also mentioned the Bible. Y'all start talking about the Bible and I get all perked up. But the thing that's interesting is, before the boy could say anything, the old man leaned over, picked up a stick, and began to write in the sand. Something bright reflected from his chest with such intensity. The boy was blinded momentarily. So, what was that thing? Right? That bounced off the man's chest and mesmerized him because he was blinded by the spark of the metal coming off the man's chest. And he goes, with a movement so that... Go ahead, Melissa, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying to you that, like, it's like almost the boy got hypnotized.
Yes.
The shiny.
Yes. Good morning, John. With the movement that was too quick for someone his age, the man covered whatever it was with his cape. When his vision returned to normal, the boy was able to read what the old man had written in the sand. And there in the sand, the boy read the names of his father, his mother, the name of the seminary he attended. He read the name of the merchant's daughter, which he hadn't even known. So that's a trigger now for him. And he read things he had never told anyone. Hold on, Melissa. Pink Lily Phil. It's closed. What does that mean? I don't understand. And now I got to look up this guy's name in the Bible. I have to. I got to look him up now. Tracey Brown. Let me see. Melchizedek. Oh, in the Bible. Oh, let's see. Okay. In the Bible, Melchizedek, king of righteousness, or my king is righteous, was the king of Salem and the priest of El-Elon. He is mentioned in Genesis, which he brings out bread and wine and then blesses Abraham and El Elyon. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That is really cool.
Sorry, guys. I get it now. In Christianity, according to the Epistle to the Hebrews, Jesus Christ is identified as high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek, and so Jesus assumes the role of high priest once and for all. Oh, wow. I just learned something. So, Melissa, excuse me, guys, I'm so sorry. What do you think is happening right here?
Well, just knowing that his name's in the Bible, that's like, that's, that's something new.
Yes. Yes. So it seems to me, and I didn't understand this, guys, when I read the book the first time. And so you guys are helping me. Excuse me, guys, hold on. This guy is talking to a spirit. If this guy was in the Bible, how many thousands of years was that? This guy's talking to a spirit. Do you understand? Like, this is where spirit walked into the room. This is where the book changes. This is where this kid is having an authentic relationship with God through this spirit. And there's a beautiful moment right there that we can identify. So, trust and believe, the way I see it, this is a spirit that's been following this kid around all his life. And that's how he knows so many things about him.
Oh, wow.
Do you get it?
I get it.
Mm-hmm. This is where his life changed forever. In this moment, the writing in the sand. And it kind of reminds me of the poem. Do you guys know the poem, Footprints in the Sand? It's one of my favorite poems. Do you guys know that? Let's see if I can look it up for you. Footprints in the Sand. Let me read it to you real quick. Because it kind of reminds me of, there's some semblance to, oh, wait. Amazon gets on my nerves. Amazon is into everything. It's one of my favorite. I'm going to read it, guys, if I can get it. All right. Footprints in the Sand. This is my favorite poem. And it says, one night a man had a dream that he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One belonging to him, the other belonging to the Lord. The Lord's always walking with him. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. And that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in his life. This really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But during the most troubled times in my life, there is only one set of footsteps. I don't understand why, when I needed you most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my precious, precious child, I love you, and I would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you only saw one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. So I feel like this spirit by the name, I'm going to call it wrong, I apologize, everyone. They showed me Melchizedek. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to have someone pronounce it for me. And this guy knew everything about him, everything. It feels like footprints where this spirit, this king of Salem, has been with this boy always. Always. Does that make sense, guys? Uh-oh. Did I lose everybody?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, good.
You know what, Tracy? That just reminds me of the Louisiana Lewis song, Footprints in the Sand.
Oh, I didn't know there was a song.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you.
Please do. Please do. I didn't know there was a song. I love stuff like that. And I'm going to put Footprints in the Sand in the group too. That's just a correlation to me. That this guy, the king of Salem, that is described in the Bible, and thank you guys, I never got that relationship. I didn't know about this king of Salem. I just think it's beautiful. This relationship that now we can see, or maybe you guys can understand that spirit is always around you too. Oh, Leona Lewis. Oh, I love her. Oh, I didn't know she had a song called Footprints in the Sand. I love her. I bet I heard it then. I love her. All right.
Because I'm just like...
You're just like what, Melissa? Keep going.
Oh, I was just saying, it is so cool today. It's like you just never know what. Just knowing that spirit walks with you.
Yes.
It's like, I love that, but this time spirit is like in the flesh for him.
Yes. Yes. Also, it also reminds us of how important our dreams are, right?
Right.
That dreams are more real than we realize because this starts out in a dream, right? But that a lot of our messages comes through dreams, right?
That's true.
All right. This makes me so happy. Thank you, everyone. I didn't know that this was someone in the Bible. Oh, wow. Now I got to do my research on this Melchizedek, the king of Salem. Let's just call him the king of Salem. All right.
All right. So I know that we're on the next we're on page 23.
Yes.
And we're at I am the king of Salem.
Yes.
The old man had said, "Why would a king be talking with a shepherd?" The boy asked, all and embarrassed. For several reasons. But let's say that the most important is that you have succeeded in discovering your personal legend.
Okay, we're going to mark that down, right? Personal legend.
Yeah.
He puts it with a capital P and a capital L. So, I don't know what the personal legend means, but we're going to find out. All right? So, continue, Melissa.
Yeah,
You're marking it down too, right?
The boy didn't know. Yeah, I'm underlining it right now too.
Go ahead.
The boy didn't know what a personal legend was. It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. At this point in their lives,
go back, Melissa. Melissa, slow down. At that point, it might be important.
Oh, at that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives.
Yes.
But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their personal legend.
Okay, hold on, Melissa. Hold on, Melissa. So let's talk about the personal legend in our lives, guys. Right? So I Googled it, and it says a personal legend is your life's spiritual purpose. It's a spiritual calling that awakens a deep desire and passion to live with a sense of purpose for something greater than yourself. This actually brings me to tears right now. This brings me to tears because the whole purpose that we are here in this earth, the whole purpose why we came down to earth is to create a purpose for something bigger and greater than you. Right? That's why you're living. That's why you're here. That's why you were born. And that's an agreement you made with God before coming to earth. If anybody has ever watched the movie Soul, one of my favorite movies, right? And before they come down, they've got this little button in their belly hole, and the belly button gives them the organizational skills to come down to earth. And then there's a part in 22 where there's some sort of confusion about who they become and the purpose. And it got even a little confusing to me too. But We're giving instruction. We are given instructions to remember our personal legend. And that personal legend is to have a purpose for something greater than yourself. And that has nothing to do with making children or having babies. That has everything to do with what is your life's purpose spiritually. That has nothing to do with your career. You could be a teacher, you could be a doctor, you could be a maintenance worker. What is your purpose when you agreed to come down here, and did you forget it? Because it's time to remember your spiritual purpose. You know, guys, I had a client yesterday. Let me tell you something. It was a reading, and when I did the reading, she was asking about one thing, and it was such a simple question. She was like, where am I moving to? And I pulled up the cards, and the cards gave me something totally different. And so I said to her, I said, ma'am, there's a child here. And she says, no, I don't have any children. And I said, okay. And I said, no, ma'am, there's a baby here. And she says, I don't have any children. So I was like, do you have siblings? Yes. Do they have children? They're all grown. And I was like, well, maybe the siblings, cousins, children's going to have a baby. I was like, I don't know what this is, but you're going to have a baby. There's a baby here. There's a child here. I changed it to a child. There's a child here. And so I sat with Spirit, because she was adamant. And I sat with Spirit, and I said, God, I'm going to lose this. Why are you showing me something that's not familiar to her? So Spirit said, ignore her. Just keep talking. So I said, okay, ma'am, this is what I see. There's a woman here that can't hold on to the baby. She's not capable. And she's a bad mother. And you're going to take the child. Right? When she says,
Right.
oh my God, I know what you're talking about. And it turns out there's a scenario with a cousin where the children had to be separated from her. It was an extreme condition. And she said to her family members, if push comes to shove, and you need me to take one of the children, I can take one. And I said, ma'am, the way yeah. And before I did the reading, I said to her, you might move, or there might be, because of this child, I don't see you moving all of a sudden. I feel like you're going to stay put, right? Doesn't make sense to her. Then I said to her, oh, I get it. And I didn't understand the language, right? But now I have this language of the personal legend. It's your life's spiritual purpose. It's a spiritual calling that awakens a deep desire and passion to live with a sense of purpose for something that's greater than yourself. And I said to her, didn't you ever want children? And she said, I did, but the right man never came along. And I said, oh, interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, you organized your whole life waiting for the right man to come along. And you gave up so much waiting. I said, the way I see it, I'm not going to tell you which child to choose, because it turns out there were 5 children, all under 7. So I said, I'm not going to tell you which child to choose, but I will tell you whichever child you choose was supposed to be your daughter. She just couldn't wait for you anymore. But she knew that if she comes through your cousin, she would wind up being, you would wind up being her mother. And I said to her, you can't deny this at this point. You've got to go back and you've got to start to assess the situation better. I said, you're supposed to get one of these kids, maybe two. But you're not supposed to live your life childless. One of those kids is your daughter. This is where we look at your life's spiritual purpose. This is the trigger. This is where something clicks in. Now, what she does with that information, I throw my hands up. Once I end the call, I'm not getting involved. I'm not asking her. I'm not encouraging her. That is no longer my job. I gave the message that God wanted me to give, and I'm out. And I pray for her. Because I know that daughter needs her mother.
Absolutely.
And now I get this personal legend concept. Now I get it. Like, she's at her personal legend. Are you going to do something greater than yourself? Are you going to take in one or two kids so we don't have rotten kids out there fucking up the world because their mother screwed things up? No, we can fix this, people. We can fix this. And I don't know who else I'm talking to, but we can fix this. We can adopt kids. We can foster kids. We can stepchild a kid. Like, there's so much shit out there. And we can organize our personal legends. And it doesn't have to be with children, by the way. It doesn't have to be with children. For me, it's not children. For me, it's you all. For me, it's open up a YouTube channel. For me, it's not having 100,000 views. Because if I had 100,000 views, you motherfuckers wouldn't even like me. I would show my ass. I would think I was cute. And I would not be a kind and generous soul that God needed me to be. And so when people called me out in the beginning, it's, you're a witch. You're doing the devil's work. You're disgusting. I just kept plowing ahead. Why? I don't know. I didn't know this thing about a personal legend. But I kept plowing ahead because I said, one day the world will catch up. It caught up in white America. Why wouldn't it catch up in black America? And look where we are 2022 in the middle of COVID, and all we have is our phones. All we have is our phones. Nobody can even go to church anymore. You think that's not God? You think God didn't shut down all the churches and made us open up our phones and spirituality kept popping through TikTok and Instagram? For black folks to get out of their slavery heads, to understand something's much bigger than the training that they got, the generational training. That's the generational curse that we got. Oh, child, this personal legend, it's getting to me, guys. I don't know if it's getting to you, but it's getting to me. Like I want to cry because we all have a personal legend. We all have a spiritual purpose that's greater than you. So I want you all to figure out, what is your personal legend? You ain't got to figure it out today, but you got to start accessing that hidden knowledge inside your brain, inside the deepest part of your soul. And we got to start operating in a way where we begin to see ourselves in our personal legend walk. I mean, it's so much bigger than you and I. Oh, John, Melissa, it brings me to tears.
You know what, Tracy, too?
Yeah.
I mean, not only is it like, just to know, like, how they was talking in the book about the personal legend, like, how, like, you, when you're younger, it's like you live in it.
Yeah, you believe it more when you're younger, right? Yeah.
You don't have that much fear.
Yes.
As you are when you're older.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Wow. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a nun. I realize now I would have been like Whoopi Goldberg in the movie. But I wanted to be a nun. So I think as a kid, it was that relationship with God. And I thought nuns had the best relationship with God, right? Turns out that's not true. But that's not the point. That's what I thought. But God wouldn't let me be a nun, right? God made sure I met my husband at 16. God made sure I wound up in Harlem. God made sure my parents were divorced for me to wind up in Harlem and for me to be so scared of the essence of Harlem. I didn't understand Harlem at the time. I was petrified that I wound up in a community that was so electric. I didn't know what this was. I never had it. And so I went to my mom and I was like, I can't do this, Mom. I can't be here. And I was like, maybe if I find a church, because I knew, like nuns, churches were safe havens. And so we found a church, and thank God they had a youth committee. And I joined the youth committee. And then we had a youth dance. And then my husband was at the youth dance. And you know, when you kiss a boy, you're not trying to be a nun. You're like, oh, nope, change my mind. I'm not being a nun. I done kissed the boy and I liked it. But God knew I would like it. God never wanted me to be a nun. Because they hide nunaways. You know what I mean? They give them a secular, description in their life, right? But all my life, even after I was married, I just wondered, I want to be a nun. I just want to be a nun. Even after I was married. And then I read that some people, when their husbands die, they can become nuns. And I was like, oh, maybe when my husband's dead, I can become a nun. I done killed my husband off now, right? Because all I ever wanted to do was be a nun. Right. All I ever really wanted, Melissa, was for my spiritual soul to grow. I just thought nuns had it. And thank God.
Because you see that they...
Go ahead.
You know what, too? It's just that, you get to see that they pray a lot.
They pray. They're on their knees praying. I don't even know why, to be honest with you. Ultimately, the child came along. And when my child came along, well, then that whole nun thing went out the water. You could still be a nun with the child, but now I just have a whole different secular space of responsibility. So the nun concept started leaving me, right? And when I found myself again, I found myself wanting to be a psychic. And that was a whole new world. Because it wasn't about religion. It was about spirituality. But even I didn't understand that when I started out as a tarot reader. I didn't know what I was doing when I took my first tarot class. I didn't know what I was being. I didn't know what I was becoming. I just took a class. and the rest is history. And I find accidentally, because I didn't understand the concept of personal legend, I find accidentally that my personal legend is to get others spiritually moved. Because we are miserable under religion. We are miserable under control. But to be spiritually empowered, to feel safe in a metaphysical world. And this position right here, this is the position that I love. This is where I belong. I know now that this is my personal legend. I didn't know it until I just read this book. I didn't know it until Musings, and I think either Red Roses or Pink Litterfield said something about Melchizedek, the king of Salem, being a part of the Bible. Like today I woke up. And I'm 59 people. And so I didn't have people to educate me, guys. I have been alone in this world trying to find my spiritual space. I'm so grateful for the Caucasian community because they're so quick to teach you. They love taking in people to teach. But on the other side, my African Black community would call me out my face or would look at me sideways, interested but afraid. And I just kept plowing ahead until today. Today's my wake-up call. So I'm saying all of this because that's my story. What is your story? What's your personal legend? And you don't have to answer it today, right? I didn't wake up until today, and I'm of gratitude to have woken up today. But what's your personal legend? Start looking for it. It's a spiritual calling that awakens a deep desire and passion to live with a sense of purpose for something greater than yourself. Find that in you. Live that out. Figure it out. Search for it now. Where's your soul and your kindness? Where is it? Find that thing inside of you. The only reason why you are here on earth is to be moved beyond yourself. That's the only reason why you're here. So find that person and push that out. That's our job, all of us. All right. Shoot. All right. Sorry, guys. Woo. Woo. That was deep. Yep. Yeah.
You know what, Tracy? I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to put that on my mirror today.
That's right.
What's my personal lesson?
Yes. Yeah, I like that concept, Melissa. Put it on a sticky note. Put it on in your mirror.
And I'm going to put it on my mirror.
Yeah. You know what too, Melissa? Take a sticky note and put it at your front door. So that's the last thing you see when you walk out into that world. Yeah.
I like that. I want to do that too.
Yeah. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, child. All right, guys. I think we should end on that note. I think we did good today. I think we got somewhere today. Whew, this little, and I'm going to study up on this King of Salem. I need to figure out why this guy is following this kid in this book. And I'm going to figure that out. And you guys figure that out too. Let's figure out what's the relationship with this King of Salem in the Bible Like who is the king of, like, let's just figure out who is the king of Salem. Let's talk about it next week. All right? Why was he so important in the Bible? All right, guys? Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ooh, child.
You know, you know what? It's like I gotta just, you know, what's your personal legend?
Yeah.
And just see what pops up for you today.
Yes. Yes. Let's start looking for it again. Because remember, wait, there's a part in here where he says somehow it gets taken away from you. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay.
It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their personal legend. And so, marriage, babies, losses, gains, career gains, right? There's those mysterious forces that takes you away from exercising your personal legend. And sometimes, for me, I see those mysterious forces as evil. Where people say, I just worked on my career, Tracy, so I didn't have the wherewithal or the time, and it's like sometimes a great accomplishment also can be evil. Like, evil is subtle. Evil's not the big bad monster. Evil says, take this road. Go ahead, go down that road. You'll be successful. You'll have money. Go, 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 go. And boom, we forget our personal legend. So let's go back and achieve what we would have ever dreamt in our lives. Let's go back and get that. And I don't know what that is. And I'm not saying it's going to be impossible to go back and want to be an ice skater. I know I want to be an ice skater, but I don't think Spirit is talking about that. That's a selfish act. Spirit is talking about finding that purpose that's greater than yourself. What is that purpose?
Bigger than yourself.
Huh? Mm-hmm. Like, to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you what I see in one of our group mates, Sylvester, right? I see...
Yeah. Oh, my God. Did you see the new shirt?
Well, wait a second. Which one?
The one that says Spirit Never Lies.
Love it.
I was like, wow.
Love it. Love it. Oh, my God. But that's not what I see in him. I see that the organization of his clothing line and his sayings were the stepping stone. But what I see with Sylvester, I hope he doesn't mind me talking about him, but it was too late, Sylvester. I see him going into his personal legend.
Yeah.
There's such care going
really
on.
Is.
There's such care going on with this project of his. And, he seems happier, focused, But I don't think he realizes, and I'm only understanding this right now today myself, although I've seen something in him, but I realize now it's his personal legend. That he's organizing something so greater than himself. So he's leaving a legacy behind. He's about to leave a whole legacy behind. And that is his personal legend. And that is in the process of creating the visual for the children's books. And if you watch him and the way he talks, he's like, I gotta study it, Tracey. I gotta study. Because he knows. He doesn't know, but he knows. Like, he's got to do right by this. And he's like, don't rush me, Tracey. I was like, I'm not trying to rush you. Don't rush me, Tracey, because I gotta study this. And I was like, wow, the intensity of what he's trying to say. It's only now do I realize that it's his personal legend. That he is saying to spirit, that he's saying to God, I'm gonna do what I came down to do. I'm just saying.
I love that. It's like walking in your purpose.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Yes. Yes. To finally understand what my purpose is. But remember, the idea is to create something greater than you. That's the concept. It's not being I have to be careful of what I'm saying, because if you're a doctor, you are creating something better than yourself, right? Your hands produces healthy people, right? So it's not doctor. It's not even lawyer, right? It's not even maintenance worker. It's the knowing that I'm living my life because there's something greater than myself. I'm living in my purpose. And it's not a sacrifice, people. No one's asking you to get on your knees and walk a mile on your knees. No one's asking that. Giving back to others is the biggest sacrifice, but it should make you happy. It's a knowing that you do this just because. Mm-hmm. All right, Melissa, let's stop here because we'll find more things to talk about. Lord have mercy. Thank you, everyone.
I know, but it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. Melissa, are you working today?
Yeah, I'm going to be working today.
90 seconds.
I'll be on around 12:30ish because I'm always late. I'm late to everything.
Yes. What's the call-in number?
And the call-in number is 914 205 5699.
Yes. Okay. And wait.
60 seconds.
Press 1 for a reading. All right, Melissa. Thank you so much. Red Roses says, this has been lovely. Thank you, Red Roses. Musings by Manifa gave us 3 hearts. Thank you, Musings. Guys, thank you. I don't think you realize how we are all helping each other, right? I learned from you today. Oh, so now let's all figure out who this Melchizedek guy, and let's get the pronunciation, people. Like, help me. And let's talk about why he was so important in the Bible so that we can continue on next week. All right, guys? Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys. Bye. I'll see you guys next Saturday, The Alchemist. Bye, guys. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks, Tracey. Bye, everybody.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.